Hi Falcons, it's Mrs. Pagoni, your LLC director, and I'm here today to help you evaluate the information you find online by laterally reading. When you read laterally, you act like a fact checker to answer 3 questions about a website or a post. First, who's behind the information? Second, what's the evidence? And third, what do other sources say? These are the big questions that will help you decide whether you should use a website for your research paper or whether you should share or even believe a post you encounter on social media. Here's what lateral reading looks like. When you encounter a website or a post you want to check, instead of staying in the site to determine its credibility, open new tabs to look for information about the source. When laterally reading, you open new tabs to answer those big questions by doing things like a keyword search, utilizing Wikipedia, using fact-checking sites, and trying a reverse image search, for example. Here's an example of lateral reading. In a recent study, students from Stanford and fact-checkers looked at this site about minimum wage. Overall, students spent their time within the website clicking around trying to find out if it was credible or not, whereas fact-checkers quickly moved outside of the website to look for information about it. Fact-checkers started with a simple keyword search. This is exactly what it sounds like. Take the most important words from a site or a post and search for them in Google. If you don't find what you're looking for, vary the keywords. Here, fact-checkers used minimum wage and Employment Policies Institute, which is the name of the organization that created the minimum wage website. Scan the results for URLs you recognize. Avoid blogs and personal sites that you don't recognize. Look for familiar sites like the New York Times, Time Magazine, or the Smithsonian. Once there, see what you can find out about a site or a post and any claims they make. Wikipedia is another place to double-check info when laterally reading. Wikipedia has an entry on the Employment Policy Institute in our keyword search, so let's check it out. While we can't cite Wikipedia as a source, we can use it as a place to get started. Here we can get some background information about the Employment Policy Institute, the organization that put together the minimum wage website. We see here that they are a fiscally conservative group, particularly aimed towards reducing the minimum wage. This information, plus the references to other possible sources at the end of a Wikipedia entry, can give us some more background information and understanding about the original website, minimumwage.com. By laterally reading, Stanford's fact-checkers were able to quickly determine that this website is not neutral in the minimum wage debate. Here's another quick example of when you might need to laterally read. Imagine you see this article about a dog who grew a tail on its head. Though the article and the pictures within it look suspicious, lateral reading can help you determine if this is fact or fake before you believe it, before you repost it, or before you even cite anything like it in your research. You can also use a fact-checking site to double-check the posts you see in your feed and the articles you encounter when doing research. Snopes, PolitiFact, FactCheck.org, the Washington Post Fact Checker, NPR Fact Check, and the BBC Fact Checker might have done some of the legwork for you. So head to a fact-checking site like this one and use your keywords to see if they have already checked on the question you're asking. Don't rely on just one fact-checking site, however. It's always a good idea to check two. A reverse image search is another way to laterally read by checking an image's validity. When you encounter a questionable image online and you want to find out if it is real before you share it, repost it, or use it in a project, do a reverse Google image search. Right-click the image and choose Search Google for Image. When you do so, Google will actually search for the JPEG on other sites that contain the image. Look for reputable, recognizable sources within the results to help you verify if the claim is true or not. Google will also look for visually similar images to help you decide if the image has actually been altered. By opening up new tabs to laterally read, and by using fact-checking sites and reverse image searches, we can confirm that this narwhal dog is real. I practice lateral reading to answer these 3 questions every single day. We all need to. It may be overwhelming at first, But the more you evaluate your sources, the better informed you will be. Use the tips like doing a keyword search, using a fact-checking site, double-checking with Wikipedia, and doing reverse image searches to determine the credibility of a source before you cite or share it. If you have any questions about lateral reading, research, reading, or technology, please contact me, Mrs. Pagoni, in the LLC. Thanks, Falcons!